Hi everyone, my name is Angela from Angela Stitches and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about how I finish a Biscornu. I'm going to show you how I finish it. I learned how to do this by watching other videos and reading blogs about it, but it's been a while so I can't really remember the names of those creators. But if you just search how-tos on how to make or how to finish a Biscornu, there's a lot of information about it. So yeah, but this is going to be how I make mine, so I hope you can take something away from this video. So this is one of my newest design. I made two other Biscornu designs before. So I have a strawberry one and then a watermelon one. And since I got questions on how to make them, I thought I would show you in a video form. The chart comes with a written description. I wrote a very short and simple instruction on how to make this, but I thought it would be easier to actually see the process. So all three of these are going to be available as PDF downloadable charts in my shop. Well, by the time I have this video uploaded, I don't have the blueberry one just yet, but yeah, but if you want to check them out, I'll have a link to my shop in the description box below. So first, you're going to need your stitched piece, usually two sides. I saw some designs where there's only stitching on one of the sides and the other was just blank or a pretty fabric. I thought that was really cute too, but for these I have stitching on both sides. And then this is a little different from making a pillow. So with a pillow you sew the right sides together and then flip the inside out. But for these Biscornus, you're going to stitch the wrong sides together, so there isn't any flipping the inside outs on these. And then you're going to need some sort of a bead or a button to make the dip in the middle of the Biscornu. So like I said, we're going to sew the sides together from the outside with the wrong sides together. So instead of matching the corners like this, we're going to have this laying like this and have one corner match the middle of one of the sides. And this is going to create this Biscornu shape. It'll make more sense once I start showing you how to sew them together. So yeah, but first I'm going to add a piece of interfacing. I already cut this out to the size of the actual stitching, so I just need to iron this on. But make sure it's not bigger than your stitched piece, because if it's bigger, it's going to get in your way when you're sewing the sides together, because we're going to hand sew everything instead of using a sewing machine. So just make sure it's not bigger than your outline of your square. So I'm going to iron this off camera and I'll come back and show you how to sew these together. So the interfacing is on, and while you have your iron on, it'll be easier to sew these together if you make a little crease on each of the sides. So just fold the sides like this and just give a little bit of a press with the iron just for a little crease. And this is going to make the sewing process much more easier because there's going to be less things to hold when you're hand sewing. So you don't want to be holding two pieces of stitching and also folding both sides and also hand sewing. But you can skip this step, but I just find it necessary to make the sewing process more easier. So I gave a little press on each side, so it looks like little boxes. But now we're ready to hand sew the sides together. I like to start from the middle or like one of the corners. So just find your middle and match one of the corners to that middle. And for the corners, I like to fold in the extra fabric inside and make this little square. So you can also iron this, but for me I can just hold this and it doesn't really get in the way of stitching or sewing. So if you need to, just fold the sides and iron this as well. So fold the sides like this and then it'll naturally create this square in the corner. So this is going to be my starting point. And I'm just going to match it to the middle of my other stitched piece. And then using the back stitching of the square, I'm going to start sewing. And it should line up to a corner to the middle, and so on and so forth all around. Okay, so I have my needle threaded and I'm just going to anchor this inside of the folded square in the corner. You can make a knot or use the loop method. I'm using the loop method and I'm also using 2 strands of DMCs to sew. So just make sure to anchor your needle. So I'm just lining up my corner to this middle stitch of my back piece. So I'm just going under this back stitch. And make sure that's the middle back stitch of your second piece. And I just pull. And then I turn my needle to my front piece and I'm getting my needle under that one back stitch. And I continue my needle to the back stitch of my back piece. Just like this. And then I pull my needle and I'm just going to continue doing that, and make sure you're just sewing once in each back stitching, if that makes sense. You don't want to go over the same back stitch twice because you want the Biscornu to line up perfectly to the corner and to the middle on both sides. So I'm getting my needle to the second back stitch. Sorry, I'm just making sure if I got the right stitch. And to the second back stitch of the back piece. Just like that. So if you do this correctly, your corner of the back piece is going to match the middle of the front piece now. So I'm going to do my third stitch. Okay, so I guess I'm going to stop talking now, but I'll just keep recording this in real time so that you can see at least one side of it. So now I'm almost at the next corner slash middle point. I just need to do a couple more stitches. So I'm making sure I have this corner folded in so I get that nice corner edge when it's sewn together. So yeah, okay, so now I'm at the actual corner. So now basically I'm doing the same thing like before, and I'm just going to fold or like bend my stitched piece so that it's lining up as I'm sewing them together. It's going to be a little awkward at first, but it's going to naturally form itself into a Biscornu shape the more you sew the sides together. So I'll just do a couple more stitches on camera. So yeah, so just continue doing that all around, but leave a little section open because we're going to fill the Biscornu with some cotton fill. So I'll come back in a little bit. So this is what it looks like right now. It doesn't really look like a Biscornu yet, but we're almost there. I have a little opening here and the sides look like this. And I have my cotton fill here, so I'm just going to fill this in, and I'm going to use my... So this was my needle for knitting. The cable came off, but it's a nice tool to use to fill in little pillows like this. So I'm just using this to get the cotton fill into all of the corners. I just like to break the cotton fill a little bit like this so it's more fluffier, and I think it makes the pillow more smoother on the outside as well. So I'm just going to use a little bit at a time and use my needle to push it into all of the corners. And I'm just going to repeat this until I fill in the whole Biscornu. So I think I'm happy with the poofiness. I'm just seeing if I want to add more or not, but I think this is enough. I don't want it to be too fat because we're going to add beads in the middle. So yeah, so if you're happy with it, you can just sew the opening just like how we sewed it so far, and just finish off the end by making a knot and hiding it inside the Biscornu. So this is what it looks like. We are almost finished, and yeah, I'm really happy with all of the corners and the sides and also the poofiness. So for the beads, I'm using these. So for these two, for this one I just used a Melhill bead because I didn't want it to cover the stitching around it. And then on this side I have a bead charm by Melhill, and I think it looks really cute. And for my strawberry Biscornu, I used a fake imitation pearl bead, and then this side I used a rose charm. And I really like how this one looked, so I chose a similar bead for my blueberry one. So I have this tiny pearl. I think this is a freshwater pearl, so it's a little irregular in shape and smaller than the fake one. So this is gonna go on this side. And then I have this purple rose charm, and I think this is gonna look really pretty with these hearts on this side. And I like how these two matches. It's like a companion piece to each other. So yeah, I'm using charms and beads, but you can also use buttons and other type of beads and charms. I'm just using what I have. So yeah, just sew in the two sides together with the button or bead you have, like you would sew a button on a shirt. So yeah, I'll come back in a minute and I'll show you my finished final Biscornu. So this is what my Biscornu looks like, and I'm very happy with it, and I think it looks really good together. I think it's a very simple and easy finishing project to do because you don't need a sewing machine, you're just hand sewing it. So yeah, and I really like how Biscornus are double-sided, and also you can see the stitching on the sides as well. So yeah, I hope you try making a Biscornu yourself. It's really easy, and I hope this video helped you. And if you're interested in these Biscornus, these are all available in my shop as PDF downloads. So you can just get them and start stitching them right away. So I'll have all the links in the description box below. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.